So this is Baruch here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel. I want to say that this book was given to me by a man that I knew in Miami Beach, and the name is Chaim Berkowitz, and he gave me this book. Maybe there was another one with it. I put it away, and it's been gone for quite a while. He lives in Sfat now. I don't know exactly what he's doing. But that's where he lives now. So here we go like this. Another story from the Holy ARI. It happened one day that they were studying. So in the middle of the discourse of the study itself, let me just give you a little picture of what we've got here on the side first. Once more dancing figures again. So he said, in the middle of the discourse, the master called out, "Be silent." Then he exclaims, "Blessed be the true judge." Baruch Dayan Emes. Those are the words that we use when someone dies. The disciples asked why he spoke this way. He said to them, "Know that I heard a warning proclaimed from heaven that the locusts would attack throughout Sfat, devouring every blade of grass, leaving no means of sustenance in Sfat at all. And all this would come to pass because of one poor man, Rabbi Altaras, who rages against the Holy One, blessed be he, because of the depth of his misfortune, and weeps in the bitterness of his soul." Now here's what he said. So he says, look, that we're going to be attacked by locusts because one man who's had a lot of bad times is attacking a Kodesh Baruch Hu. He says he rages against the Holy One. And his blessed name cannot withhold his wrath from his wicked neighbors who, though aware of his misery, yet have no pity on him. Therefore was this evil decree pronounced upon them. In God's name, go collect money from among your friends and bring it to this poor man. May Hashem, God, will turn to you, will turn his thoughts to us, that we shall not perish. So like I say, it's a difficult reading, but basically we're saying like this man had a bad time, and therefore the ARI is saying that all kinds of bad things are going to happen because nobody cares about what's going on with him, and he's raging against God because he needs help. Now the fact that he used the word, translated this word to be rages against God, that sounds like he's really breaking the fabric of the relationship between us and God by being so bitter. They thereupon collected from among them about 5 gulden, a certain amount of money, and sent it to the poor man by one of their group, who find him in his house lying on the ground crying and weeping. The messenger said to him, he said, "Why do you cry out?" And he answered, "Shall I not weep over my evil fortune, inasmuch as my livelihood and that of my family was that I was a drawer of water and would sell it?" So this was a water carrier. This is the whole livelihood of a person. Today the rafters fell, all of my casks and jugs were broken, and I have no means in which to buy others in their stead. So there's no way to draw water or to carry water because of a beam fell and broke all of his vessels. Therefore I cry out before the Lord, for am I more sinful than all the world? In other words, why did God do this to me? Now when the disciple found that the words of the master were justified, he gave the poor man the money and said to him, "This evil decree befell us because of you." In other words, he talked about the locusts that are coming, and because of the man is so angry at God. "We beg you to forgive us and pray that the Lord annul this evil decree." The poor man then cast himself to the ground and prayed to the Lord to annul the decree. The disciple then returned and related the matter to his colleagues. They resumed their studies, and while they were so engaged, the earth grew dark, and they lifted up their eyes, and behold, a great host of locusts. And they saw that they were so afraid. But the master said to them, "Don't be afraid, for this poor man has already forgiven you for his humiliation, and the evil decree has been averted. Just don't be afraid." And the Lord turned on an exceedingly strong wind, which took up the locusts, and there remained not one locust in all of Sfat. The master then said, "Be you blessed of the Lord, for on your account was the decree averted. And from this day on, thereafter, all the people of Svat paid heed to the needs of this poor man. Well, let's take another story. So it happened one day that the master said to his disciples, Know ye that on the morrow, that is tomorrow, we shall read a certain passage in the book of splendor, which is the Zohar, which is very difficult to explain. Therefore study it carefully. And they replied, We shall do so. We'll do it. We'll learn. We'll do what we can. That night each one studied the passage diligently, and in the morning, when each asked the other for his interpretation, they find that each had arrived at the same sense of the text. They then remarked, Can it be that the master said that the passage was difficult without reason? Let us once again review the text. So they did that. They did this several times. They couldn't find any new meaning, so they think they understood. They sat down to study with the master, who asked them, Do you all agree upon the meaning, or as such as each of you has arrived at a different explanation? So they answered, We all interpret the passage alike, and are surprised that our master holds that this passage to be so difficult, because we all came to it without any trouble, whereas it appears to us to be merely a scribal error. So you're probably, this is no error. Let one of you give me the explanation. One of the group began to present the meaning of the text. They had all accepted. But even as he spoke, a flock of birds came and chirped incessantly. The master then said to his disciple, Be silent. These birds are the souls of righteous men who have come from the Garden of Eden to inform you that you are in error. So here to get this picture. They're learning, let's suppose they're learning outside. They're learning in the courtyard. All of a sudden, a flock of birds starts coming and making so much noise, and a bird's going to make a lot of noise. They flap their wings, and then you got feathers flying, all different kinds of things going on, but it's very noisy. So he said, these people are coming from the Garden of Eden. Why? The Lord will teach you that you're making a mistake. For your understanding raises more questions than solutions. Be therefore silent, and I will give you the correct explanation. When he had finished it, the birds flew off, and the disciples, they were embarrassed. They said to each other, Where is our understanding? How can we hide our shame? Were we blind not to see the problems? To which the master replied, Even according to your interpretation, there have been revealed many, many hidden secrets. I spoke only in your merit and for the glory of those righteous men who had come. Exactly what that's all about, I'm not sure about the end of this. He says, to which the master replied, according to your interpretation, there have been revealed many secrets. Because even though that you made that these righteous men came, and they said that you're interpreting it wrong, but nonetheless there's tremendous secrets within it. I spoke only in your merit and for the glory of those righteous men who had come. This is Baruch Fleischman, Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and these are more stories of the Holy ARI.